Okay. And we got more people. All right, well, welcome everybody. As I started to say a little earlier, this is the most people I've had in years at this presentation. I've been doing it live for a long time and decided to try it this way. So I'm excited that everyone's here. So it's gonna be awesome. We will try to stick right with the 1 hour mark. Craig is a counselor as well, has been a college counselor for about 10 years as well. So he's going to be able to answer questions. So if you have any questions to put in the chat, you can do that. Right now, I'm not seeing the chat. So Craig is sharing with that. So if you are maybe going to be talking with someone, answering a student question or something, if you could mute yourself, that would be awesome. That way we can be sure to hear and all that kind of stuff. So here we go. We're gonna share the screen and we're gonna get ready. All right, so there's a lot of information and we will go through all of it as much as we can. I won't explain every single slide, but I will do some extra comments on some of the things. Okay, this is where this is gonna be tricky, Craig, because I can't do this now. I can't admit people. Ah, okay. Are they joining? All right. Okay. All right. So the first slide, no do-overs. Everything the student does counts. Everything that they leave undone matters. And that includes like the service hours, just a lot of various things. It could also mean, classes and so forth. If they fail a class, they need to take it again, that kind of thing. So we want to just make sure the student does everything. So the big three things that colleges are still looking at: test scores. That one, I don't know where that's going to be. If we have 9th graders listening, then that is going to change because that will probably be back into the factors. Right now for this year's seniors, it is not a factor. Some of the colleges for juniors, it's not a factor. So again, it just depends on the college. Each college has their own autonomy to do those things. So you'll just have to keep checking on their websites to find out about that stuff. Grades, of course, that matters. Your work ethic in your community shows. And a lot of times, there's it seems to kind of be a trend with freshman boys. They kind of start lower and then they work their way up. And so that's kind of the way that the colleges want to see that. So if they see improvement, they're happy with that. It's the matter of, it doesn't matter sometimes just the GPA, it's the upward motion as well. And then what kind of activities do you have? What kind of things are you bringing to the table? Did you leave a footprint? And the footprint could be starting a club or something like that. All right, so you have lots of choices, obviously. Four-year colleges, junior colleges, community colleges. Community colleges are junior colleges. Junior colleges have dorms. The community colleges do not. There is career and technology training, military work, and gap year programs. And some people say that they're going to take a gap year and just work. Well, that's not really a gap year. That's something else. A gap year program is meant to teach yourself, learn about yourself. So there's a purpose behind that. Excuse me, rather than just working to save some money. Career and technical programs are big, huge on the rise. A lot of the technical and career folks are making as much money or more than a 4-year degree student. All right, so how do you choose a college? Well, there's lots of factors. Some of your students may have talked about Naviance. If they haven't, have them show it to you. There is a section in there called the Super Match, and you definitely want to give that a shot. There are 9 areas that you can choose from to, excuse me, to find your match. And then also you can go to collegeboard.org. They also have a system for that. So there's a lot of different options there too. Most times the same match comes up if you use College Board or if you use the Naviance one. Some of the things they're looking at is atmosphere, size, living situation, distance, fit. Of course, what you want to study is important. And then Don't let the cost be a factor. That's probably the biggest thing that I hear all the time. Oh my gosh, that college costs so much. There's no way we're going to that one. Don't let that happen. Do you pay the sticker price for your car? Does everyone pay the same price for their plane ticket? The answer is no. So it's the same idea here. No one's going to pay all the same price. It depends on how much scholarship money the college is going to give you. If you have earned other scholarship money, there's lots of different factors that matter into that. So cost should not be the fear. Choosing a major or a career in this case. Also in Naviance, there is a bunch of different career options in there that students can do. So I would highly recommend that. One of the new things that we're going to add this year is called U-Science. And U-Science is, we're going to start it with sophomores, but we're going to catch up the juniors and the seniors also to it. U-Science is an in-depth career analysis, a little bit of aptitude in there as well, which a lot of career tests don't do. So that's why we want to use that. And then of course you can search different types of career interest tests. And then on College Board, there's one. It's actually called the Profile. And then, I'm sorry, ACT is called the Profile, and College Board has their own version as well. And then we have liberal arts programs. 75% of students enter with this, so don't think it's weird, like, oh, I have to have my major figured out. Most kids have an idea, and they kind of branch off from that. You know, I want to be a nurse. Well, they get in there, they get in the nursing program and go, well, that's not really what I want to do. I want to do this. So they still stay in the health career section, but they are doing something a little bit different. And then here's the big number that I always like to look at. This number hasn't changed in years. 85% of students change their major at least 1 or 2 times, the first and second year of college. So again, going into college, quote, I know my major, and then all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to switch. Now we're going to add another, year to college or a semester, that kind of thing. So that is a good reason sometimes to think about the community college option for a start. Okay. So do you have to know? You don't have to know to go to start school. Liberal arts programs, that's what they're made for. In fact, they find that liberal arts people graduate in 4 years more often than the people who go in, I'm going to go into medical, and then they change their mind to something totally else, and then they're there longer. So liberal arts helps that out. All right, college communications. Okay, I can't see all of you, but raise your hand if your student is getting lots of emails that you don't want. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many emails in there. Yes, there is usually. So what you want to do is actually to get rid of those, okay? So you want to get rid of some of those emails by doing this. I've told the students this, the seniors especially, and then I tell the juniors usually as well. But don't keep getting those. Open one of them up and unsubscribe. That's the only way they're going to stop coming. Okay. Yes, you can go through and delete them, but that's not going to stop them from coming. So you want to go in there and actually say unsubscribe to the colleges you're not interested in. That would be the best way to do that. Create an email that can be used for all the college stuff. So some people have done a separate email for scholarships and then for colleges, and then they have their school email. Some people don't use that. It just depends what you want to do, but I would suggest creating something specific, because that way all college stuff will go to one place. So that's what you want. And as well as the scholarship, if you're going to sign up for random scholarships, you're going to get a flood of those as well. So you might just want to have, Denise's scholarship at Gmail and Denise's college at Gmail, and just kind of make it like that. All right. So the other thing is just to be aware of social media presence. I do know some college reps who have said they haven't accepted a student because of some of the things they've seen on social media. So just to kind of double check that with your students. And then also the appropriate email addresses. These are emails that college reps have given me, so I didn't make those up. And so they're kind of like, well, that kind of says something about the student, so I don't know. And then, of course, again, having a consistent username and password. If you use all the same, that's fine. That's up to you guys. But for all of these different things, you're going to need a login and password. And so you want to have something that's pretty consistent for you to remember. All right. College stuff, okay, sometimes you get lots of mail as well. Sometimes there's an envelope in the mail. You can fill it out and say, please remove me from your mailing list. So you can do that. Keep it or throw it away. If you're interested in the college, if the student's interested, keep it, put it in a file box. I've gotten a couple file boxes over the years from students that have said, here's my stuff I don't need anymore and I don't want, but maybe you could use it. So I've gladly taken that just so I can look through some of it. And then you can ask the colleges to take you off their call list as well. Now, some college reps have started texting also. So again, your student can just say, hey, please take me off your list. I'm not interested anymore. All right, so here's the basic info you need. This is important stuff. We have to have our CEEB code, the correct code for our school. I had a student, true story, I had a student this morning in my office, and he could not understand how come he couldn't enter my name into the common application and blah, 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 and there was an issue. And I said, okay, let's go to the education section and show me the school you put in there. He put the school as Lutheran High School, Parker. That is a different CEEB code. And so that did not match up the information he was trying to enter with what we know. And anyway, it was a mess. And so make sure you use the proper name for our school. It's Lutheran High School. We're located in Parker, yes, but that's not part of our name. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And there's the phone number. You're gonna have to list all this stuff on college applications. Scholarships sometimes need some of this. And then Craig and I are the two college counselors that the students will meet with. And so we'll split that up. And then we do have Corey Johnson, who does some of the international students, but she's mainly working with freshmen. So that's why she's not on that list. All right, so grades 9, 10, and 11, what do we have to do? What's important here? All right, so we want to have a good attendance. Grades matter. Leadership counts if you can get into any kind of leadership program or so forth. And then, of course, most important factor is your GPA. That's what colleges are looking at. Take the highest level classes you can. That does not mean that you're going to have to take honors classes. I have had numerous people email me, contact me, I have to take an honors class or I won't get into college. That is not true at all, not true. So you don't have to worry about that at all. That is not the main point. So colleges rather see B's and C pluses in honors and AP classes rather than straight A's. Again, they just want to know, is the student trying? So now, does that affect the GPA? Yeah, absolutely it does. So again, just choosing the highest level class that you can do, the student can do, that's what's important. And then in the Naviance, to create the student resume, Naviance it's a great thing. They lead you right through all the different little things, and then you can print a copy. I love this. You can print a copy and take it for a job application, and some colleges will actually ask you for your student resume. You can use that as well. So it's all done for you, which is really nice. And then service hours, they don't have to be listed in the student resume anymore, although they can be. The students use mobile serve, so they kind of have a track record of all of those if that's ever needed for something. All right, so there's still more to do. Juniors, sophomores, freshmen. Review college admissions requirements. So I want to go to Harvard. I had a 3.75 GPA. That probably wouldn't have made it to Harvard. So knowing what the college is looking for, what do they want, that's going to be important. And then begin to think and talk with parents about the college financial planning. Again, I've had some parents in the past, I've been doing this for 15 years now. I figured that out at the beginning of school year. I was like, wow. I had one parent who really wanted her son to go to Colorado School of Mines, but money-wise, they didn't really have it. They took a mortgage out, they took a big loan out, they did all that. He went to Mines for 1 year and ended up not liking it and leaving, and now they have this big debt. So again, talking about how's that gonna work? Is the student gonna pay for some? Are the parents paying for all? How's that gonna work in your family? Because every family is different. And then just keep a balance of homework and activities, keep exploring their interests, learning some new skills, and again, contributing to the community, whether it's volunteer work or, seeing a need and filling it, anything like that. So that just makes the well-rounded person that the colleges are looking for. Take ACT and SAT whenever possible, meaning all the practice tests and stuff too. You get better the more that you do it. And some kids never have to go take a training class for ACT or SAT because they have done enough practice ones, they know what to do. And then track records and graduation requirements. Tracking mean just making sure you're taking all the right classes. That is actually our job as counselors. We meet with the students every year and we look, okay, what's the next class you need? What's the next one toward graduation requirements, so on and so forth. So we're always looking at that, but you can have a look at that too and keep track so that you have everything, especially if they're going to take maybe some online things to kind of mix it up a little bit. All right, freshmen in particular, what are we looking for? Start thinking about majors and careers. Are they going to know for sure? Absolutely not. The only ones that seem to know for sure are nursing students and teachers, believe it or not. Those are the two that statistics have proven time and time again. They may know that since 6th or 7th grade, and they stick with it, and that's what they become. So anyway, but again, look at the ACT profile, look at Naviance. What are some of those career options? What am I good at? And try to figure that out. Check for colleges that may fit you. And so again, use that Naviance super match. Take virtual tours of colleges. Most colleges had that before COVID started, but now almost all of them have it. So that's a really great thing to do. They literally have gone around campus and shown you things and talk about things. So you can do that for free. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to travel there and take a tour or anything like that. Family discussions about college. Is college what we're doing? Are we going to do trade school maybe? Maybe we're going to start at ACC or some other community college, and then we're going to transfer. Just so you know, when a student does that, they never have to say like, well, I went to community college first and then I got my degree at wherever. Usually the question is, well, where'd you get your degree? I got it at UNC. I got it at CU Boulder, wherever. They don't have to claim that they went to community college before that. And so that's another good way to save some money. And your next summer vacation, if that's available, to take a visit at a college campus. It doesn't even have to be the one that you're going to. If you're going to visit your family in Iowa or Kansas, and just kind of stop on the way at one of the colleges that's that way, and take a tour. Again, keep on balancing the homework and so forth, and then take the PSAT in October, which I believe is October 29th this year. It's a Thursday. And then we have a practice ACT in January. All right, sophomores, a lot of the same things in there. I'm not going to have to go over those again. One added thing there about in the middle here, attend YFC College Fair. We are hosting the College Fair on September 22nd. It is live. You will be required to wear a mask, but we're having a live college fair. We have about 40 colleges that are coming. Last year we had 60. So only about 20 have decided not to come. And then there's some other ones. And I'll be sending out an email soon with other virtual college fairs that are happening. So you can look at that too. And then again, the summer vacation area. More things for sophomores, a little bit more. Take challenging classes, practice ACT and so forth, SAT. And then continue those extracurriculars, again, being active, okay? All right, so what are we doing for juniors? Juniors, if you are a junior parent here tonight, juniors start now doing some of these things to get ready for what they're going to have to do by the time they become a senior, okay? So we're going to get more specific for things. So freshman and sophomore year, just kind of a build up, kind of checking things out, talking about it and so forth. And now it's time to take some action as a junior. So again, you're going to take the PSAT, you're going to take some practice tests, register, sign up for the ACT or the SAT. The first ones are, they actually added some now. There's some September, October, and November. They did all of the months because of the cancellation of those previously, but also consider the sports schedule. Now, usually I say during football season is not a good time to take your ACT. Well, that kind of is still true because it's in the spring this year. And so that probably won't be because there's going to be Saturday games. And these tests are on Saturdays at your local public high school. So you're going to have to make sure that you can work that out in the schedule. So again, attend the college fair and then Naviance for Supermatch. And this is where juniors have a job to do now. So juniors should be creating a list, colleges I'm thinking about. Last year, we had the juniors do it. I was in the classroom in the fall, and then we did something early in February, and they had their list, and then afterwards they move it over. Once they've made some decisions, they move that colleges I'm thinking about into the senior list of colleges I'm applying to. So again, you want to build that list based on the factors that are important to you. So during first semester, juniors, you're going to attend some college campus visits. Some of the colleges are hosting in person, some are virtual. But again, if you can go to the college live and get a tour, that's great. Fall break is a good time to do that. Register on the college email list if you haven't gotten anything from a certain place. And we do have college visits happening at Lutheran High School. Some are virtual, some are live, depends on the rep and where they're coming from. But the student can sign up in Naviance. So again, if your student says, well, I don't know where to go, it's under colleges. So this is not in my presentation, so this is where you might want to write something. It's under the colleges tab. It's under research colleges, and then there's a spot that says college visits, and they can just go there and sign up for whatever ones they want to. And then again, considering the interest and major that you might want to study. All right, January to April. Again, this is where it becomes even more specific. So you're going to meet with your guidance counselor, and we're going to check your credits and classes for next year, discuss your college options. I actually call it the 4 C's. So we talk about credits, classes, college, and career. So we talk about 4 different things. And so that's that bigger, longer discussion with juniors. We talk about those things with freshmen and sophomores, but not as in depth. And then again, registering for ACT or SAT, again, you have all the months to choose from. Attending college, oops, that was not supposed to happen. Attend college campus visits again, attending spring college fairs, and completing your resume. All right, second semester, more things. Again, visiting the colleges might not be practical, depending how far away. I had a student last year who she was all over the country. Seriously, they would have had to take like 2 weeks to get to every college if they flew even, just to make sure it all happened. So again, visit the types of school that are near you. So like CU Boulder would be considered a large school. Maybe you'd want to go to UNC. That would be a medium-sized school. CCU, Colorado Christian, would be a small school. Colorado College in Colorado Springs is a small school. So again, just kind of figuring out what's the size of school that I should go to, what's important to me. One of the things to realize is that those larger schools, the freshman classes have anywhere from 250 to 350 students in a freshman class. So imagine sitting in chapel, the auditorium, if you will, and there's that many people and the professor's down there talking at you. There's no way the professor knows your name. Possibly if you go visit in his or her office, there's a chance. But that's one of the things I ask the students. Is it important that your teachers know your name? Because that's what they're used to. Teachers, from even classes that teachers they haven't had are greeting them in the hallway. And so that may be something to consider. Okay, so taking rigorous classes still again, and then thinking about the topics for your college essay. We have some awesome English teachers. In the spring, they have the students look at the college essays and the Common App and answer 1 or 2 of those. And then again, in senior year, the first couple of weeks, they do it again, and they actually really focus on that college application, that college entrance essay that they're going to write. So I love our English teachers. All right, parents, this one's for you. This is not for the student. The free application for student aid. There's a FAFSA forecaster that you can go to. You would just put in some of your past information from your taxes, some of those numbers in there. You don't have to use 2019. You can use 2018 for the FAFSA forecaster. Senior parents, if you're listening, you will have to have an FSA ID. And so you want to get that sooner than later. Don't wait till October 1st, because then everybody and their brother's doing it because they forgot. So you want to get it sooner. Who needs a FAFSA ID? Again, this is a note to write down. One of the parents needs a FAFSA ID and the student. So 2 different people need that, okay? And junior parents, you could actually do it now, but please, please, please don't lose it. You get 1 FAFSA ID. If you lose it, then you have to call FAFSA and the FSA ID people and try to figure out, and it's a mess, I can tell you that. So if you get it early, make sure you put it in a safekeeping spot that you know where it is. So you should get it now. Juniors, you should probably get that early in the spring, okay? And then seniors should already have it, okay? Because we're into September already. When can I start the FAFSA application? It opens October 1st, the senior year. So if your student is currently freshman, sophomore, junior, you can't do it at all. Okay, it's only for seniors. And so October 1st is when it opens. You can start it, but I would not submit it till October 15th. We're going to have September 28th, I believe it is. We're having Beth Walker. She's an expert in this area. She's going to come in and talk about that to the senior parents. And she will tell you the same thing. At least wait till about the middle of the month till all the little bugs get worked out. Every year they change a little something and then, oh, shoot, it's not working. And then you get caught in the mix. So you don't want to get caught in that mix if you can help it. So October 1st would be a date to put on your calendar to start that FAFSA. You're going to want to do that. There's a lot of extra help. There's a lot of videos on the FAFSA website. So make sure you always put the .gov in there. If you don't have the .gov, you'll end up some kind of weird place and they're going to charge you for it. There's no charge for doing that. So just make sure you have the .gov. Future college athletes, some of you that popped in as you came in, I know that some of your students are wanting to play sports in college. So a couple things you have to do, even as a sophomore, what level can you play? Honestly, you know, I want to play Division I, but I'm 5'2" and I want to play basketball. Maybe, maybe not, depends. So again, you want to find out from the coach what is realistic for me to look at. And then there is an application for NCAA and NAIA. NAIA is cheaper. NCAA, I think it's $85 now. Anyway, so there's a charge for that. But you need to complete the forms and so forth. You also need to go to the college website. So if you're interested in a specific college, you want to go to their college website and pick their athletic page. And then you're going to want to fill out one of those things. It's called something different on every college page. Sometimes it's called future athlete. Sometimes it says bulldog. So you want to be a bulldog or something like that. Athletic recruits, prospective athletes, all different kinds of things. And the other big thing you should do if your student wants to be a college athlete, make an appointment with Mr. Rudzinski. He is one of our science teachers. He has also been assigned to be our college recruitment expert. So you want to make an appointment with him as well. Okay. All right, ACT, SAT, there's some costs for you. In the email that I sent out to everyone, I also included a sheet with all the dates on it. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. You do take it at your local public high school. We don't give it. You have to have I think it's 250 students at a shot that's going to take it. And so we don't have that amount at our school that will take it all at one time. So we don't offer that. And then it takes about 90 minutes to register, so make sure you have the time. One of the other things you're going to want to have near you when you do the registration is the transcript, because it will ask you questions like, by the time the student is finished with high school, how many years of English will he or she have? By the time you graduate high school, how many years of science will the student have? And so that's why you would want to have that handy to help you out. All right, there's one more time. There's our code, 060417. Kind of emblaze that in your brain because you're going to need it for ACT, SAT. Every college application is going to ask it. And then the name of our school is, if I had you all on audio, I would say you all have to tell me. So right now I won't do that though. All right, so ACT tests, practice, practice, practice. You can take one a month. Okay, there's different places. ACT.org, ACTstudent.org. Once you register for a test, you get free tutoring that goes along with the test from Kaplan. So Kaplan is the one that is matched up with ACT. College Drive is a company we use. Revolution Prep is a company we use. You can go buy your own practice books that come with CDs and all that kind of stuff, or DVDs, I should say. And then we do have a couple of them already scheduled, ACT and SAT, okay? All right, and then the next one, SAT, same thing. College Board has their own study thing. Once you register for a test, you get access to free tutoring from Khan Academy. So two different places. One is ACT, one is SAT. They have different places that they've partnered with to do that. I do know some students, they could not afford to get a tutor. They just could not afford. They were on tuition actually to attend Lutheran High School. And so I said, hey, look, go to Khan Academy and study. The student did, and he raised his score by 500 points. So it works. I mean, it's not something that doesn't work, but the student has to be invested in studying a little bit and using the tricks and the trades, okay? So it does work. And so again, they have some practice ones. We have some practice ones. And then this is probably the biggest reminder, juniors especially, starting right now, you have from right now until December of your senior year, you have 1 calendar year basically to take your ACT test. So right now, if a junior were going to take the ACT like in October, we could include 18 months. But usually juniors take it second semester and then into senior year. And so you have to be finished by December of 2021 because most of the public universities will say, after December, too bad, we're not taking any new stores. We're not doing it. Private universities, a lot of them will still let you take it, but I would check before you would sign up for a February, March, April test because a lot of schools won't take it after December in their senior year. So something to kind of put on the idea there. And then this is still for juniors, May and June, attend graduation. So you kind of know what it looks like, what's going to happen when I graduate. It's pretty similar every year. Continue to look at colleges, online, mailed material, visit campuses if you can. Maybe study a little more for your ACT. I know a lot of juniors take their ACT or SAT in June. Here's why. They're done with school. They have about 2 weeks from after the final exams. They have about 2 weeks where they can just really focus on that ACT or SAT exam materials. And so that's a great time to take it. But I will warn you, it fills up fast. So if that's when you're going to do it, I would sign up sooner than later. Don't wait till March to sign up for the June or July tests because they're going to be full. I know one student who wanted to do it, and from Parker, his nearest location to take the test in June was to go to Pueblo. So that was like, oh, no, we don't want to do that. So they waited a little longer. But anyway, just know that it fills up. And then applications start now. That's new. Last year, 2 years ago, actually now, some of the colleges started accepting applications. They were still juniors in high school. And in April and May, CCU and GCU opened applications to juniors to apply. And so by the time they were out of high school for the summer, they knew if they were accepted already at CCU and GCU. So those are 2 of the colleges, and there's more and more colleges who are opening things early. So again, that's an option, or that will be something that they can do. All right, juniors, we're going to keep going here. Volunteer hours, calendars. Calendar is going to be needed not just by the student, but by the parents too, because there's application deadlines. Every college has a different one. I tell the students November 1st. November 1 be done is my little rhyme. November 1 be done, because you want to have everything finished, turned in, then I can turn in the transcript, any forms, all the other parts that have to go, recommendation letters we have to send in. Doesn't have to go in at the same day. It all goes in kind of within 2 weeks of each other. And then you find out if you're accepted, because you want to be able to be in on the first round of scholarships. When does the first round of scholarships start? December 1st. So I want our students to have the best advantage they can by having their applications done by November 1st, and then the scholarships and financial aid stuff will follow soon after, okay? Again, rough draft, they can write their essay and then decide which teacher and coach is gonna write recommendation letters. And then, you love my little face? Senior year begins, woo, here we go. And it's big, there's a lot of stuff to do. Here we go. Here is the list. And this might be one of the slides that when I sent the presentation to you, if you want to print that out, that might be a good list for you to have around, just so you kind of get some of that information that I've just gone over is in there, and some of the stuff we're still going to cover is in there. So you're going to want to take a look at those dates and keep kind of things in order for yourself. So you have to get accepted to colleges first to get any of the scholarships that are offered by that individual college. Random scholarships that are in Naviance or on fastweb.com or in Sally Mae or Google searching, all those you can do whenever those deadlines are. But they're the ones from the college, which are the bigger scholarship amounts. Those are the ones that you have to be accepted for before you're going to get in on those. All right. Okay. July, August. I started something new this year. It's in the very middle here. a Common App camp. I had 45 young men and women start their Common Application camp. We did it virtually. We were going to do it live, and then COVID happened, and so we came up with an alternative. It worked beautifully. I was in my Zoom visiting room, and students could pop in whenever they had a question as they were filling out the forms. They might have spent 3 minutes with me. They might have spent 10 or 15 minutes with me, whatever it was that they needed. And then they went back to work and did some more. And some students came back 4 or 5 times in one day. Other students spread it out a little bit, but it was awesome. So I'm going to do it again next year, the Common App Camp, and we'll do it in July, after 4th of July. And so we have a little time to think about it. I'm trying to decide if I want to do it in June, so we'll think about that as well. But you definitely want to have, if your student is going to use the Common App, you're going to want them to do that. Okay, filling out college applications. Again, you have to figure out, when does the college open their application? When do they make it live? Some of them don't make it live till August 1st. Some of them, again, like I said, make it available April already. Keep copies of everything, because sometimes, you know, the internet, the email, you know, sometimes it doesn't go right, doesn't get there correctly. So I a lot of times tell students, just make a picture copy of it. So if you had to do something again, you could do that. The Common App, how do you know if you need to use the Common App? That's in Naviance, and we will talk more about Naviance at a later date. All right, so we have some various information here for the next couple months. Choose your top 5 schools. I recommend 5 schools to apply to. Some people like to do 10, but remember, there is an application fee for every one of those. So you want to be careful about how much money that's going to cost as well. You can fill out individual applications to each college, or you can do the Common App. It's one application for many colleges. So that's the idea. If you have the Common Application for one college only, I wouldn't do it, because it does take a little longer. But if it's for 2 or 3 or 5 or more, then yeah, use the Common App. It's one application, and everybody gets the same thing. So it's great. They can still continue to do their college search, maybe college fairs and so forth, visiting the colleges. And then another big thing is, in Naviance, they're going to request their initial transcripts. So this word initial is important. Initial transcripts. In Naviance, there are 3 options, okay? So the 3 options are initial, mid-year, and final. So we want to just request the initial transcript in the early months, through November. The transcript for the student does not change until after final exams in December. And so when they come back to school in January, they have a new transcript, which is called their mid-year transcript. So that's why initially we only request the initial transcript. And then, of course, they can continue to search for scholarships in Naviance or elsewhere. Transcript requests, I said it earlier, and so now it's out there in dates and years and months for you. And then Miss Lisa is our registrar. She handles all the transcript questions. And we need to allow 7 to 10 business days, because pretty much she gets flooded with stuff. I went to talk to the seniors in their theology class August 27th. And I believe she probably got over 200 requests just that one day, because everybody was requesting them for their college. So good, we got that done, but you know, it's going to take her some time to get all those taken care of. So she's the registrar, and so that's where the transcript thing. Now in Naviance, there is a section as well that they can manage their transcripts. And so that's something, again, that I'll talk more about when we get into the Naviance stuff at a later date. What's on a transcript? There's just some basic things, the test scores that get reported to us, and so forth, immunizations, that kind of thing is there. And then for the senior class only, we list the classes that they're taking on their transcript. The juniors, we don't do that. We don't like list, you know, freshman, sophomore grades, and then juniors, what classes are you taking? We don't do that. We only do it for seniors. So, and that is a question on the Common App. That's one of the reasons why we do it as well. All right, students and parents. So this is something that came about a couple years ago. And so you guys are responsible for the college deadlines, checking status updates and so forth, contacting admissions and financial aid about the on-campus scholarships. Every college has their own scholarships. A parent yelled at me not so long ago, a couple years ago, because I didn't help her son get all the scholarships she could get from CSU. And I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't do something right. I have to find out what I'm supposed to do. So I called CSU, and the lady kind of chuckled, and then she said, oh, honey, don't worry about it. She goes, there's no way you could know this. We have 350 scholarships. How do you know who qualifies for what? She said, you would never know that. And she said, and every campus has that many and some more. And so she said, you can't. That is up to the student to go into the scholarship information and find it. And I have found out since then as well that students get invited. So once they're accepted, another email may come from the college that says, you're invited to check out the scholarships. Sometimes it's a one application scholarship. Sometimes it's multiple applications for scholarships across on their campus. But the student gets an invitation. Here's also how I know this. A couple years ago, a student reported 0 scholarship money at the end of the school year. We always kind of take a kind of collective group to see kind of where we are, how did we do, and that kind of thing. And he got 0. I thought, well, he should have had something. He had a good GPA. He had a pretty good test score. You know, he should have got something. Well, I called him in my office because I thought, well, maybe he misunderstood the question. He came in and I said, so did you get any scholarship money from this place? He goes, no. I said, well, what happened? I missed the deadline, Miss Nafsi. I didn't open the email and I didn't even know. And I said, well, how much money was it? $5,000 a year he missed out on because he didn't open his email. So again, once you get accepted, help remind those students, hey, once every Saturday or once on Wednesday or whatever day you guys choose, let's open those emails and find out what's in them, because you're going to want to do that for yourself and your student. All right, financial aid and scholarships. So some of that I've already talked about a little bit. The financial aid the biggest money comes from the college, and then FAFSA, of course, and you're going to use the previous year. So if your student is currently a senior, you are going to use 2018 tax return. It's called prior. So 2 years, all right? So if your student is a junior currently, you're going to use 2019 when it's time, okay? So it's not the current taxes. That was one of the things that FAFSA did do. Like, they wanted you to fill out your information January 1st for the current year of tax. Well, nobody had their stuff done until May or April 15th at the very least. So that's why that didn't work very well. So they changed it up. And then, of course, besides the scholarships, be sure to look elsewhere. We get some emailed to us and sent to us. I'm sending things all the time for it to be uploaded into Naviance, so we have numerous scholarships in there. So that's a good place to go. All right, so never pay to get scholarships. That's a scam if you do. If they say, oh, if you pay us $25, we'll help you find scholarships. No, don't do it. It is a scam. The one thing you should do, and you can do it now, doesn't matter if they're freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, do it now. COF, you can Google it if you don't remember this website. But it's College Opportunity Fund. Everybody in Colorado, because you pay taxes, mom and dad, the students get this money, but it's only good at Colorado colleges. It cannot be used at outside colleges, out of the state. And then there's a couple other places to go also for finding scholarships. Going Merry is a newer one that we use. I like this one because they fill out the basic information and it filters into many scholarships. And so I have one student, I checked the other day, she qualifies for 235 scholarships. She has applied to 31, and because it's easy to do. So Going Merry is a great option to use for sure. Okay, where are we? September and October, again, kind of just keeping up, doing things, focusing on getting done by November 1, be done. Initial transcripts requested, get rid of those unwanted things. The other big date is on the bottom, October 15th. Last day to ask for recommendation letters. So current seniors should be doing that right now, asking for recommendation letters. Juniors coming up, you want to be thinking about who you're going to ask. Parents, this one's for you again. FAFSA opens October 1st at 12:01 a.m. If you want to stay up and get started, that would be your prerogative. I know some people like to do stuff like that at, Happy New Year and that kind of thing. So again, you want to get that FAFSA ID, one for student, one for parent, and then you're going to use past tax information. Recommendation letter, and here's another thing, we want students to be sure they need one. Now, Naviance helps with that as well, and I'll be showing that to the students as well as to you guys in the spring if you're juniors. The seniors, they already saw it last spring. But if you don't need one, don't ask for one, because the colleges will literally hit delete and get rid of it. Or if it's mailed to them, they literally throw it in the trash. They don't even read it. If the college says they don't want one, don't send one, please. And then, of course, if they say yes, then we want to do that. We want to allow 2 to 3 weeks for completion, because our teachers don't write them flippantly. You know, they don't copy and paste one that they used 2 years ago. Oh, this kid's about like this kid, and they send the same one. They don't do that. They individually write it. They consider, they pray, they think about that student and about what's going to go in that recommendation letter. Okay, November 1 be done. So just kind of having that. And here's a few more reasons why we want you to apply again for those scholarships as soon as possible, and not to be part of the 1,000 to 10,000 applicant pools. After Thanksgiving, that's what happens, okay? Near Thanksgiving. Because a lot of parents sit down and say, you haven't done anything. You need to sit down and get this application done right now and hit submit, and it gets sent over Thanksgiving. So all those college reps come back and they have flooded emails with all those applications they have to look over. So I would like our students to stand out by doing it earlier, by getting it done. So there's early action, which is you're acting early, literally. And there's early decision. Early decision is binding. That means if a student says, I'm going to apply early decision, if they get accepted, they must attend there. It's like an agreement that you're signing when you do that application. So be careful about what you're doing, okay, what the student is confirming to. I highly always suggest the early action, all right? It can affect financial aid as well. Sometimes you get some earlier stuff. I know GCU, the earlier that you start the action, if you will, of applying, you get $1,000 up until November. I think it's November 15th or something. And then after that, it's 800, and then after that, it's 500. So it goes down after that. But just because you acted early, you get $1,000. Like, that's a gift. So again, something to do easily. Rolling admission, rolling enrollment. Those are other two terms. That means they accept students any time of year, all year long. Doesn't matter. Metro State is a rolling admission school. You can apply July 31st and start classes August 15th. But the scholarship money's gone. So you have to be careful about that. The scholarship money goes out the window usually February and March. All right, so scholarships, come out with the acceptance letter, and then of course grades. All right, so December, again, last date is request transcripts, because we're gonna have a new one shortly, so we'll just send that new one later. And then in December, again, finding out if you can apply for scholarships, or if you can still take ACT or SAT. All right, this is the month. You wanna make sure you get your FAFSA finished, parents, because we want to meet the deadlines. Every college has a different deadline. The earliest deadline I heard last year was January 15th to have the FAFSA finished. Most other colleges will do February 1, February 15th, March 1, March 15th, March 31st. So those are common, but they're going away from the March 31st one. Most of them are earlier. So again, making sure you have that FAFSA finished so that your student can be in the queue a little earlier. All right. Oops. All right, so transcript requests begin again January 10th. So if they need a mid-year transcript, that's what we're gonna do. Check about colleges. This bottom item, check your status. Every college makes you create an account, and then you can check your status. And in that check your status, it tells you if you're missing something. We're missing a transcript. We want a mid-year transcript. We need another form from a teacher. We need another recommendation letter, or whatever it is. And so the students can check that anytime after they've created an account. So that's a good option to know about. And then February, again, there's some of those dates that I told you about with the financial stuff. We're gonna have some more practice kind of things going on. March is known as financial aid month, but I actually think we're moving toward February now as the trend goes. And so most of the financial aid is depleted by March 31st. They've given it out to all the people who they've accepted. And so if you decide last minute to apply to that place, you may not get anything, or you may get a little. So again, you want to make sure that you're not waiting too long. And then the very last item there, sometimes you have to negotiate in person. my niece had to negotiate in person this year. Unfortunately, my brother passed away in May, and she is going to college for the first time this year. And I told her, you have to go and talk. I tried to do it, but they wouldn't let me. And so she went and talked and negotiated with them to get a different information, because the FAFSA was correct, but now we have to amend it because of something in life that happened. And she is attending college for free this first year. So it does matter that you go and negotiate if something happens. So there might be, you're going to use the tax return from 2018 or 19. Things have changed. Maybe you lost your job, and so now you need to go negotiate. I know of another family whose house burnt down, and I directed them. I said, you got to go talk to the college and see what they can do to help you. They had 2 girls attending that college. Both girls got to go for I think it was 1/8 of the price of college that year. So again, just negotiating when something happens. April 1st, and we're not talking April Fool's Day. That's when you need to start informing colleges you will not be attending. So maybe you applied to 10 and you want to narrow that list down a little bit now. Maybe we want to get it down to 3 or 4 that we're more sure about. And so most college reps, they're not offended. They will email, text, and all that kind of stuff to get a hold of the student. But here's what happens. If the student doesn't respond somehow with, yes, I'm still considering you, or no, I'm really sorry, I'm going to attend somewhere else, then the reps call me. And then I have to call your student in my office. And then I direct them to call or tell the college rep what's going on and so forth. So they're not going to be offended. They just want to know, because if they offered you a space, they're keeping it for you. But if you don't want that space, they're going to give it to somebody else, because there's always a wait list, always a wait list. And some of your students may end up on the wait list. And so again, you would want the other people to also give that up for you. Finalize college details, find out about housing, when is student orientation, signing up for classes. Some colleges sign up for classes right away as soon as you're accepted. Some colleges wait till orientation. Some colleges wait till you deposit money. Again, everybody does it differently. So you have to know what's happening with your college for sure. All right. May. Whew, we should be done, right? We pretty much are. So this should be a relaxing month. There's going to be final exams. You got the last stuff for seniors are going to do some fun things. Requesting those final transcripts to the chosen college, NCAA, NAI, if you need that. They should enjoy their graduation, celebrations, all that stuff. And then, of course, thank you notes to anybody. Could be a teacher, could be whoever, if gifts or something like that happens. And athletes, got to just make sure that everything is all set for that you're ready to go. You're going to find out the dorms, what you can and can't take. There's a list. Some colleges will let you take a microwave, and some say, nope, no microwave. You can take a fridge. No, you can take a fridge only if it's this size, because of electricity and so forth. And, and even computers, sometimes you want to find out about that. So thrift stores are great for that kind of stuff, finding some a little bit of furniture or something. And then obviously knowing when to attend orientation, and then enjoying the next steps of life. And so I haven't received this books yet, but I do have Colorado Collegiate Books. It has all of the Colorado colleges in it. They have a list of cost, their top 10 or 15 programs that they have at their colleges, those kind of things. So if anybody's interested in that, send me an email, let me know. I'll save you a book on the side, and it does cost $5. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for sticking with me. Yay. All right. We got a lot done in a short time.
Denise?
Yes.
We have a few questions for you from the chat line.
Okay.
Do you know when this presentation will be posted on the school's website?
I do not. We have to get it transferred to another format, and then I have to get someone else, because I'm not in charge of the website. Someone else has to upload it. So it could take up till next week. I don't know for sure.
Will you be emailing the PowerPoint to Lehigh families?
The PowerPoint was emailed out today when I sent the invite for the Zoom.
I thought it was. Thank you.
Yep.
Do you know offhand when the Colorado free application date is in October? It's escaping me.
Yes, it is October 13th this year, the free application date. Excellent question. So I have recommended students to do this. Fill out your Colorado college you know, information, have it all ready to go, so that all you have to do is hit the button, submit on October 13th. I had a couple students last year who thought they were going to fill out the application on October 13th and hit submit. Well, they missed the deadline because they couldn't finish it in time. Took them a little longer to do the application than they thought. So yeah, October 13th is free application day. Any other questions?
I have one in regards to SAT and ACT testing for seniors. Are colleges, like with the whole COVID thing and the rush to get that test done and so hard to get into them, are they changing their criteria for accepting those, or are they still accepting them? Not like, how is that affecting anything, if it is?
It is all over the board. So most colleges are saying that they're not worried about getting an ACT or SAT score for acceptance. But to earn some of the scholarships on their campus, you still have to have a score. So I can't say one thing about a college, because again, it's all over the board. I did talk a little bit about that earlier. Some colleges have waived the ACT and SAT for this coming senior year for students who are going to fall of 2021. Some have waived it for the next 2 years, and so students entering to the fall of 2022 still won't have to take ACT or SAT. But it is up to every individual college, and you would have to go to every individual college website admission page to find out for sure what they want, because I cannot answer it in mass as this is what everyone's doing, because everyone gets to decide individually.
But you're still seeing it affect the scholarship?
For some schools, not for all.
Some schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some schools, not for all. So again, it just depends. Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Denise, all students at every grade level should be functioning in Naviance at Lutheran High, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And when are they first introduced to that?
Freshman year, they are introduced sometime in November. We go into the English classroom and do something in there, and then we do something in theology second semester. So they're introduced twice.
A parent had chatted a question: if their student is in an online English, would they just come to your office and you would get them connected?
Okay, their Naviance account was emailed to them when they were freshmen. So they have a Naviance account, they have a Canvas account, they have an email account. All of that was emailed to the students.
The student just transferred this past January. And so they should have still received that info?
Yep, because even if the student transferred in January last year, we would have had them doing something already last semester. So, because when we were in the classroom. So if the student still doesn't know what to do, yes, they should email or come and see me. Yep. Anything else? All right, well, thanks so much for being here. If you guys do have any questions, just send them my way, or email Craig too, and we will get your answer for you. Okay, thanks again for coming. It was great. And like I said, this is the most people I've had in a lot of years. So this has been really fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Denise. You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Denise and Craig.
Thank you.